to the Horror Hangout podcast, where two bearded film fans watch the best and shittiest horror movies of all time. My name is Luke Kondo with Kate, and joined by my regular co-host, Mr.
It's a Mr. Ben Arrington.
Mr. Ben Arrington has got his guns out today on display.
I got my guns out for the lads.
Looking good, man.
For the lads or ladies, you know, whoever wants to have a look at them.
Oh, laddies. Use it, laddies. Look at me guns.
Look at me guns, laddie.
How are you? You alright?
I'm very well. How are you?
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear. My neighbour's in his garage listening to Elvis. Can you hear that?
I can hear it a little bit. Yeah, I can hear something. I mean, I wouldn't be able to identify it as Elvis.
He's either listening to Elvis or he's got Elvis in his garage. It's one of the two.
It's one of the two. Or he's an impersonator. You know, a really good one. He could be.
Yeah, could be.
What an exhausting week it's been already, right? For watching stuff, I mean.
Stuffs and guffs. There's been so much stuffs. So much good stuff.
Obviously, people are avoiding spoilers like they're avoiding responsibility for their actions right now. So, no spoilers for the big ones.
Yeah, I've seen people just on the Facebook post just spoiling stuff. And I'm like, what is wrong with a person? Why do they feel like they need to do
they've
that?
They've never felt the loving embrace of another human being. That's why they feel the need to crush people's hopes and dreams. Also, people hate, like, I'm not a Game of Thrones fan. I'm sure I'd like it if I watched it. I've seen some of it. But at the same time, people just slating people for going on about it. It's like, let people enjoy things.
Yeah.
God's sake. Unless it's actually shit, like 50 Shades of Grey, then I'll just go, what are you doing? It's just a massive
now, I feel like, if you want to,
just whatever gets you off.
Whatever gets you off, yeah. Dragons or bondage, whatever you want.
Dragons, bondage, or loads of
Yeah, I'm sure I watched some questionable stuff. I was telling the guys at work about Desperate Housewives, and I thought everyone watched Desperate Housewives. They looked at me like I just shat on the table.
Is that? I've definitely seen that. It used to be on Channel 4. Eva Longoria.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it wasn't groundbreaking, but it was something, to put on and watch and enjoy.
I know what you mean. I feel like I'm the same with Sex and the City.
See, I've never seen that.
I think I used to watch it when I was younger because I thought there might be a chance of seeing a nipple, like on terrestrial TV.
Was there
because,
a nipple?
I was a sick bastard.
See, with Game of Thrones, you don't get that kind of nonsense. You don't get any nipples. That's not true. You
do get loads of nipples, don't you?
You get enough nipples, yeah. That's your lifetime.
Didn't Stuart Stuart Lee, comedian?
What about him?
Didn't he? I saw him describe Game of Thrones as Peter Stringfellow's Lord of the Rings.
That's pretty spot on.
Which I find, I thought that was pretty funny. Sex and the City. Sorry, I don't know what I'm talking about this, but it's on like some random cable channel now, or some random like Sky channel, and every time I see it, I go, I've seen this episode. Like, to all of them. I've seen them all. I don't know when or why, but I think I've seen them all. I've seen the film as well, but not the second film, which I've heard is a pile of. I mean, the first film ain't great either, but
I've can't seen any of them. But I mean, these are things,
Oh, Desperate Housewives, is it? Oh, you can't handle Sex and the City, but Desperate Housewives, you're all right, bang on it. It's the same thing, isn't it?
I don't think it is. Well, because Desperate Housewives had a sort of Twin Peaksy vibe, as not like the as.
Don't muck about.
It had more cool cred than Sex and the City. I think so.
Well, Sex and the City had a Twin Peaks vibe, all right?
Actually, no, that's not too far off. Wasn't Kyle MacLachlan in that as well?
Yes, he was.
He was in Desperate Housewives. That's what I meant by Twin Peaks vibe. So yeah.
Was Kyle MacLachlan in Desperate Housewives as well?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There you go.
We finally find what's linked to all these things. The trifecta. Twin Peaks, Sex and the City, Desperate Housewives, the Kyle MacLachlan trifecta. That's why we're linked. That's why we're drawn to it, Luke. Because deep down, we're just so cool.
It's not like the bitchy women.
No.
There's like murder mystery stuff going off as well. It was anyway.
Oh my God,
this isn't what people listen to horror hangouts.
There's none of that in Sex and the City. Yeah, no, forget it. Stuffs and guffs, Luke. You can go for it.
Well, so Avengers Endgame. I probably don't want to go about it too much because we just spent 10 minutes talking about it before we started recording. But it's good. It's very, very good.
It's satisfying. It's a kind of tasty conclusion to any event.
Does it make you feel like you're done now with Avengers, like with Marvel stuff? There's part of me that's like thinking I should grow up now.
Well, if it makes you happy, mate, then keep enjoying it. Don't worry, but don't let people tell you to grow up.
Yeah, that's true.
Just enjoy it. Yeah, without talking about the film directly, this is something I've kind of been thinking about. I think, like, as film fans and as like comic book fans and as fans of all these characters, we should feel pretty damn lucky that we've managed
Yeah.
to. I know it's a big old money spinning machine, but it's got some heart and soul. And the fact that we've managed to see not only the major characters come to life, but second. I was going to say second-rate characters. That's not fair. You know what I mean?
The shit
Second-level
ones. The crap
characters,
ones.
the shit ones. It's like the ones you wouldn't expect to ever see
Yeah.
come to life. Like Guardians of the Galaxy as a comic book wasn't something I don't think anyone ever thought would eventually become a massively successful
It's also
film.
one of the best ones as well. You know, I saw a lot of people complaining about Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, look, James Gunn is doing it. When has James Gunn ever really set a foot wrong? I mean, maybe the tweets were a step wrong, but other than in terms of films, like, when has he ever put his foot wrong? Like, I'd watch anything he's going to do.
I think I'm always confident, no matter what, no matter who's attached to anything. I'm always confident until I see something. So whether
Yeah.
I see the film or whether I see a trailer, I'll remain confident until I see something. I mean, I think we should talk about horror in terms of, have you seen the Sonic the Hedgehog trailer?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I try not to watch trailers. That's a weird trailer. 'Cause it's not.
You try not to watch
It's
trailers,
not
but
Sonic at all.
there's absolutely nothing in that film that makes, like, I'm definitely going to watch it because
Jim Carrey
if it
made
is-
me laugh because he
if
put
it
his
is
glasses on
terrible.
upside down, and
Yeah,
that's all I need.
Jim Carrey was like doing an impression of Jim Carrey from the 90s, but
Yeah.
without, like, but it's like he never knew that he was Jim Carrey. Like he just watched a video of himself from years ago and gone, yeah, I can recreate that.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what he said.
It looks weird. It looks,
Maybe it's going to be good. Maybe, who knows?
yeah, maybe it's going to be good. Maybe
Yeah.
it is good. Maybe it'll break the box office records that Avengers Endgame has just broke.
The only
Billions.
downside with having great comic book movies is that people are going to see great comic book movies like Avengers Endgame, and they break records, box office records. They keep selling. That means they're going to make more and more. The only reason they'll ever stop making superhero movies is when they start getting shit. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's just going to dwindle out. We're not going to leave.
We've had a
comic
pretty
book
good
movies.
run so far, you know.
Yeah, but that's what
We've
I
had
mean.
it-
But like, should it not just end now? Should it not just go done, bish bash bosh done? 'Cause
Well,
otherwise,
like-
we're just going to get diminishing returns now until it's like.
Well, unfortunately, we've already seen a trailer for Spider-Man: Far From Home, so we know it's bloody carrying on forever. To be fair, when you've hit the jackpot in terms of, like, as a big studio like Disney,
Yeah,
you've hit the jackpot in terms of basically a money tree.
because I think Star Wars is what happens when you keep going back and you maybe aren't doing as good a job of it.
Yeah, but as I think I mentioned to you earlier, it's not like Star Wars has been consistently good. Like, we had 3 good ones, we had 3 shit ones. Now we got 3 all right ones. I haven't even seen the last one because it ain't out yet.
Mate, Phantom Menace has the best. Mate, Phantom Menace has the best music out of any of the Star
Oh
Wars.
yeah, definitely for the Duel of the Fates. 20 years old, that film. How does that make you feel?
31 years old. I was 11 then when that first came out. Wow. That's
And
terrible.
now you're just 11 inside your
I'm going to
heart.
say a leathery old
A
man.
leathery old man. Have you watched anything else other than Avengers?
Yeah, Game of Thrones.
Oh, you're such a normie, man. You're so
yeah,
mainstream.
pretty basic.
Oh my god.
I'm not okay. Well, Game of Thrones is good, but it's very horror as well. I found this episode,
Yeah.
but I also watched. I'm continuing with my Larry Cohen adventure.
Oh.
I watched God Told Me To, which is so it's good. It's basically about there's various shootings and killings happening in New York. There's a guy. It starts off with a sniper on a water tower shooting people in the streets, and there's a detective who keeps going up to these people and saying, "Why are you doing this?" And all they say is, "God told me to," and then they die. So then it gets weirder quite suddenly when I really don't want to ruin the surprise for people who do watch it. It's on Shudder now. It's not as good as the stuff, I don't think, but it's definitely more interesting. There's there's UFOs in it. There's people who believe they're talking to God, and there's it goes very strange places towards the end. It's worth it just to see that, and it's a nice curiosity, but it's probably not the big Larry Cohen film that I'd send people to.
What are we saying? 70s?
Yeah, I think it's got to be mid-70s, maybe mid-70s sounds about right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's on Shudder.
Yeah, man. What about you?
I watched a few things this week, apart from Avengers. I saw Bone Tomahawk, which I've wanted to watch for a while. I think I told you that I was going to watch that. Just because I heard about a particular scene and someone was trying to show me the particular scene, I thought I'd rather watch it in the context of the film. And Bone Tomahawk's really good. It's a great it's a nicely paced, character-driven Western that obviously goes into this weird horror territory by introducing this clan of cannibals who make some pretty fucked up weird noises. And there's a particular gruesome, horrible death scene, which is, gruesome, horrible, and disgusting. So obviously, directed by, who's it directed by?
S. Craig Giler.
S. Craig Giler. Yeah. So, Brawl at Sublime 99, Dragged Across Concrete, which I'm hopefully going to see this week as well. He's a great sort of genre filmmaker, isn't he? And one who doesn't stick to one genre, but has got his flavour and his taste is all over it.
Have you watched Brawl at Sublime 99?
Yes.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. Like, he's figured out his thing.
His niche.
Yeah.
He knows what's going on.
Yeah. And I, for one, appreciate it.
I love it. And I also watched, because I watched Silence of the Lambs a few weeks ago, so I thought, I'll get myself some more Hannibal Lecter down my neck. So I went in terms of release, so I didn't watch Manhunter, the sort of 80s adaptation of Red Dragon. I watched 2001's Hannibal and 2002's Red Dragon. And I've
never seen Red Dragon.
Do you know what? They're not that good. Like I remember holding both of these films sort of, I quite like them as far as I remember. But I watched it. They were basically like in Hannibal, like Hannibal Lecter and Clarice Starling, who's played by Julianne Moore in this one, not Jodie Foster. Just everything that sort of makes those characters compelling is just completely absent here. And I read the book as well, and the book was really gripping. But this was just like, I mean, it's got some good sort of gruesome moments, and I just found it a bit bland. And then with Red Dragon, even though like these are essentially very similar films over and over again, where like Hannibal Lecter helps an FBI agent try and track down a different killer, this one kind of felt a little bit more unique. It's directed by Brett Ratner, this one, and it stars Ralph Fiennes as like the killer, the Red Dragon character. But I think everyone was like, they're all characters but they're like played by different people. Like Harvey Keitel plays Jack Crawford. Just felt a bit confused.
Julianne Moore seems like a really good, if you're going to get anyone to take over from Jodie Foster, just from what I remember of Julianne Moore, because she kind of looks kind of similar, right?
Julianne Moore is a fantastic actress. However, in Hannibal, she is so one-dimensional, it's almost like unwatchable. It kind of makes, and she's not even bothering to try and do Jodie Foster's like southern accent. Yeah. Like not even slightly trying.
Selfish, that is.
Selfish.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Hannibal is pretty shit as well in terms of my enjoyment of it. And Red Dragon is slightly better, but still not great.
He's Thomas Harris has got a new book coming out, hasn't he? In the same universe.
Oh.
So maybe there'll be another film.
So yeah, so we got so I probably will watch Hannibal Rising, because I don't think I've ever seen that.
What about the TV show? Are you into that?
I watched a little bit of the TV show, but I found all the dream sequences were kind of making me feel exhausted. I didn't know if I was coming or going.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was coming or going. I was like, oh, this is weird, this bit. What's going on here? Oh, it's a dream. Oh, this is an interesting turn of events. Oh, it's a dream. Oh, this is amazing. Oh, it's a dream. It's like, I've had enough now. Get out of my head.
Yeah, that's Brian Fuller. He does a lot of those TV shows. He did American Gods. A lot of that is very sort of metaphorical in the way it's filmed.
I'm just like, I don't know, like what even really happened in this series. A man got up and went to work. That was it. everything else is a dream sequence.
Yeah. So other than that, I just watched our film. I watched it last. Did I watch it? I think I watched it last night. No, Sunday night. I watched it at some point. Yeah, I think I did.
I'm glad you watched it at some point.
So I watched the special edition, and it was quite different to what I remember the film.
A little bit different, wasn't it? Yeah, it was a little bit different. I think it's the first time I've seen the special edition as well. Nice. So obviously we watched this in celebration of Alien Day, which happened last week on the 26th of April. So it's Alien Day because it was 426, which is the planet, LV426, which is the planet where the xenomorph is originally discovered by the crew of the Nostromo. So obviously we had to do something for Alien Day, but we'd already done Alien, already done Aliens.
I'm glad we've done it.
What?
I'm glad we've done all of them now, because it's given me a chance to sort of go back and rewatch. Because I haven't. This is when I think about this, Alien 3. This was my first exposure.
Ah.
Now that I think about it, Bold Ripley was my first Ripley.
Old Ripley.
Bold Ripley, not old.
I thought you said old. I was going to say she ain't that old in this. It's like a few years after Aliens. Yeah. I mean, this wasn't my first experience of Ripley and Aliens, and I'm glad, really, because I mean, you never know. If it was my first, how would things have gone?
Yeah.
For me as a fan of the franchise.
So
yeah.
Have you got any information?
Yes. So Alien 3, stylized as ALIEN³, is a 1992 American science fiction horror film directed by David Fincher and written by David Giler, Walter Hill, and Larry Ferguson, from a story by Vincent Ward. Bloody hell.
Did Dan O'Bannon? Thought Dan O'Bannon, or did he just get credit because he wrote the characters?
Maybe.
I don't know.
We'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
So it stars Sigourney Weaver reprising her role as Ellen Ripley, and it is about after her last encounter, Alien Ripley. We're struggling today. After her last encounter, Ellen Ripley crash lands on Fiorina 161, a maximum security prison. When a series of strange and deadly events occur shortly after arrival, Ripley realizes that she has brought along an unwelcome visitor. That's really mysterious for what is a film called Alien 3. And then, some deadly events occur, and then there's maybe an unwelcome visitor.
We all know it's an alien, love.
We all know it's an alien, just right. Ripley has a third experience with an alien, and this time she's bold.
That's all we need to know. I mean, I can see why people aren't. This film does betray you a little bit right from the get go. This
film, imagine being like a huge fan of Aliens,
yeah,
and every character that survived, and then going, I can't wait to see these guys in their next adventure.
Yeah,
and then this film basically just takes a hot.
It's like starting Return of a Jedi, and then
Return with a Jedi.
Han Solo's his face is all smashed off, and Carrie Fisher's dead.
And Chewbacca's just been made into a chair.
Chewbacca's just a chair now. C-3PO is just his face and he's screaming in pain, please turn me off.
R2-D2 is a recycling bin.
Yeah. Mate, it's horrific. But I mean, it's I think the tone actually it's quite good. I mean, the tone
what I've kind of sorry, I'll let you finish your point there. Let's say so.
I think again, the good thing about the Alien franchise is always the settings and the set design and the production design, and I think this is good. I think David Fincher, I could see what he was trying to do, and I think it was working really well. But I just think there's a certain point where it comes off the rails a little bit. You can sort of see maybe they didn't know where to go with it, or there's some sort of creative troubles behind the scenes. But
yeah,
this whole idea of these sort of prisoner monks, I think, is a really interesting.
It's definitely
concept.
An interesting one, but for me, I always I didn't always feel like this, but now when I feel about Alien 3, it almost feels like a sort of a what-if story, just a sort of almost like a spin-off from the main canon universe of Aliens.
Yeah.
It feels like a sort of a what-if, or it's easy to say, all of these things in Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection happen when Ripley's in cryosleep and this is all a dream and all that stuff. That's the easy way of getting out of it.
Yeah.
But, could just say it's a different... I know this is canon, this film, but I like to think of it as a bit of a what-if sort of story. I like to think that, Newt and Hicks are...
Well, it's interesting you say that, because they've made a Audible original story.
Yeah, I heard this.
Based on the original script, narrated by the guy who played Hicks. And it's, so I think in that original version, Hicks does survive. And they go on a big adventure with an unwelcome guest.
So apparently we've got a clip. There is an available with an unwelcome guest. There is a clip that you can listen to. So if you just search Alien 3 audio drama, you can find it. So it's William Gibson's unproduced Alien-free script being brought to life as an original audio drama, starring Michael Bean. Bean, is that you said? Michael Bean.
I don't know. Oh yeah, that's
reprising the role of Corporal Hicks. Lance Henriksen is also part of the project, voicing Bishop.
They've also did the comic book series based on that William Gibson script, I think last year. I've been meaning to pick that up. But it's, I mean, so this is obviously your third favourite Alien film?
Do you know what? I'm not sure, because I watched Alien Resurrection the other day, right?
Yeah.
And I found Alien Resurrection even slightly more enjoyable than Alien 3, as in more. I mean, it is ridiculous, but I was more entertained by it. Like, I found myself sort of laughing at bits and kind of going, "What the hell? This is ridiculous." Whereas in Alien 3, I felt like at least 2 or 3 times I just got a bit bored.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, and I always feel like I get to that point. There's a few times where I'm like, "Wait a minute, what's happening? What are they trying to do? Like, what's the goal here?" And then,
yeah, that's what I found with it. So I was well into it for the first 45 minutes or so, and then I was like, wait, what's happening here? Who's going on?
yeah.
Exactly the same. But I mean, so the cast got Sigourney Weaver reprises the role of Ripley, of Alien Ripley, and she's just fantastic. I mean, every time she knows this character. I think she is this character, really.
She knows this character, but I feel like in each and every film, this character evolves in such sort of ways that just feel natural. Like, she's more of a badass, you know, and she's been asleep. It's not like she's been off out there having adventures. She's just been asleep for a bit.
We were talking about, I think in one of the last podcasts, about like how when she always sort of takes. There's a point in most of these films where she suddenly takes control of the situation. I think,
yeah.
I mean, there's been a whole lot of stuff recently about how there's not enough women role models in films and stuff, but this is what I grew up with, was Ellen Ripley being an absolute.
I know. When people say a lot of times people say, finally we got a kick-ass woman in movies. It's like Ripley, Sarah Connor.
And every time she starts off as a sort of in a new situation, sort of an outsider, isn't quite in control of the situation, but every time there's a point where people are looking around for someone to step into the role and shoulder the responsibility, and every single time she does it.
I think almost every time her gender rarely comes into it. Like, she's sexualized a little bit in this film, but I think that's just because of where she is. She's in a planet of dudes who are obviously surrounded by other dudes. What was that?
Dude planet. It's
I think
it's a planet where everyone's double Y chromosome. Which is that a real thing? Double Y chromosome planet. It's the only place where you can assume people's gender. So you're 110% of men.
110% men, yeah. So I remember in some initial concept art for this prison planet was supposed to be wooden.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Seen that? It was supposed to be like made. It's supposed to be like made of wood. Well, I'm assuming not the whole planet, but like shitloads of it was wooden.
Like a wooden.
I guess.
Yeah, that makes
like
sense.
A wooden. Yeah. But yeah, as I was saying with Ripley, even when her sexuality does come into this, like in terms of her like getting laid, it doesn't feel like it's not treated in the way other films might treat that moment. Like, it doesn't feel as like two characters are falling in love. It almost feels just like a means to an end, which is like, I don't know. There's something about that I think just elevates her even more in my standing as a character. Like, she's never treated on any level as like a cliche heroine in a film. She's not like thought to have like weaknesses or like feelings or like, you know, the means to an end.
She does have feelings. She goes through a lot of grief and stuff, but it's always not because she's a woman. It's because she's a human being, and like
because she's a human being, and like she's lost people and lost her daughter, and then lost the person that was almost like a replacement daughter.
Yeah.
And just already constantly getting thrust into these horrible situations, like where you wake up after having a nap and going, oh, by the way, it's a couple of hundred years have passed, and you go, for fuck's sake. She's missed Game of Thrones from start to finish.
Yeah.
She don't even know what it is. Don't even know what a Game of Thrones is.
Yeah. So who else we got in this film? We've got Charles S. Dutton, who plays a guy called Dylan. He's essentially like he's a prisoner, but he's almost like the leader of the prisoners. Like he's the spiritual leader. He's more in control of the prisoners than the actual prison guards. And I think there's only like 2 prison guards.
Hmm.
Who else got? Charles Dance. I don't know what his original crime was again.
He's a former inmate who accidentally overdosed, or accidentally administered overdoses as painkillers for some people, and think killed a lot of people. But he's still knocking about. Have you noticed this is so many British actors in this?
Yeah, I did not realise that was Paul McGann playing Golic.
Yeah, I know.
What?
Paul McGann, Pete Postlethwaite, Brian Glover is the prison warden. Who else? Ralph Brown, loads of people that you loads of these character actors that you would recognise
from playing films about coal miners or films about working class people. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Loads. I mean, it is a great cast when you think about it, because apart from Sigourney Weaver, there aren't really any really major names in it, are there?
No. Obviously, Lance Henriksen is back in it.
Yeah.
I've read somewhere that he didn't want to come back into it because it was he didn't like the nihilistic themes of the film or something. He didn't want to do it again. But he does. I don't think he even plays the robot bishop in this, does he? Because that looks like it's all animatronic.
It's all animatronic, but I think he does lend his voice.
Oh yeah. You can have that. You can have that voice there.
You can borrow my voice for a while, or I'll give it back. I'll make sure I look after it.
Yeah. Okay, so the story is the one I watched last night was different to the one I remember from my childhood, and it's different from the plot summary I've got written down here. I don't know if you got the same thing. Because the special edition, it's not a director's cut. Apparently, David Fincher wiped his hands clean of it. He didn't want to even. He said, even if you gave me all the raw materials, I could not make a cut that I would be happy with. So I wouldn't want to make something called a director's cut. So they call it a special edition instead.
A special edition by the director in his new cut.
No, I don't think he did the edit. I think someone else did the new edit, potentially.
It's the bloke off the street.
Yeah.
Came in.
Yes, how do we start? We've got the...
So it's the year 2179, isn't it? So it starts on the Sulaco, which is like the spaceship
from the end of Aliens.
From the end of Aliens, and obviously, there's like a fire. A fire starts, isn't there? And the computer basically launches the escape pod containing Ripley, Newt, and Hicks, and the damaged Bishop. Well, they're all in cryogenic stasis. And then there's scans of the tubes, the cryo tubes, which show a queen facehugger attached to one member.
Yeah.
Isn't that right? A queen facehugger as well, not just a normal one. A bloody queen one.
I don't know how it works.
Oh, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Scary. So yeah, basically the pod crash lands on this ship. On this planet, the Fiorina or Fury 161. So the colony inhabited by male inmates with a double Y chromosome, which is lovely for them, innit? So yeah, and then some of the inmates go and basically explore the crashed ship and bring Ripley back after finding out that everyone else is bloody dead.
I think there's tons of these weird little lice bug things. I don't know what they use, little crabs. Like when they find Ripley on the beach, washed up, they're all covered in her hair and stuff, and there's some of them later on as well. Definitely feels otherworldly. They take her in. Charles Dance, I think, is the first one who's giving her some soup, giving her some a cup of soup and some
oxtail
soup and all that.
She's like, I'm vegan.
I think we get we see a little bit of Hicks's face, and it's not only he's dead, he's completely smashed up. I think you see a few teeth, and
he looks like a pumpkin that's been left out in the street from October, and someone's just found it in February.
Yeah.
Mushed.
Yeah. Oh, he's dead.
He's dead.
We don't get to see too much of, but they say Charles is she's dead as well, I'm afraid.
Yeah, she's dead. And then we also see a bit where a facehugger is approaching. So I think in the original cut, the facehugger goes and attaches itself to a dog. But in the special edition,
quite
yeah,
well, but it just didn't happen in this version.
In the special edition, I don't think we get to see it at all, and it ends up impregnating a like ox, a big old
Bison. Type thing, yeah.
All right, mate. Ox, bison. You say you say ox, I say bison. All right.
Hey, is oxtail soup actually made from oxtails?
You were thinking about that the whole time, but since I mentioned it, you were like, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Oxtail soup. It's made of sliced and fried or barbecued oxtail served with vegetable soup with rich but clear beef broth.
What, the one from we get from the shop, the Heinz?
All right, here we go. What's
soup.
in oxtail soup Heinz? A tasty meaty soup that is made using a trusted Heinz recipe. Oxtail soup contains only the finest ingredients, including beef, carrots, as well as the all-important oxtails.
Really?
There we go.
I didn't know I was eating oxtails all this time.
What are you eating there? Bit of oxtail soup. Has that got oxtails in it? What?
I didn't know that. That's insane. I just thought it was like mincemeat. We call it mincemeat. It's like raisins and stuff.
Don't.
But do you know what I mean? Like we give things names. I just thought oxtail soup.
Don't get me started on that. It confused me so much.
Yeah.
What are you eating there, Luke? I'm eating a ham sandwich. Oh, a lovely bit of ham. Ham? In a ham sandwich? I thought you just give names to things willy-nilly.
Hamburger. It's beef.
Oh yeah, come on. We're just gonna.
Okay.
We should start a new podcast.
Things that are called stuff that they shouldn't be called.
Yeah. Hangout.
Butlins. There's no butts. And there's only one girl called Lynn on reception.
Why did your brain go to that? It's like you've been to Butlins recently and you're really peeved off.
Every time about Butlins at work for some reason. Okay. Alright. So there's also like a Scouser. Did you see that guy? He's either Scouse or from Newcastle. He's from that part.
Mate, you're from like up north, aren't you?
From the Midlands.
How can you not identify all these different things? Hard for me because I'm far away. So what happens? Ripley wakes up. Clemens basically says, "Look, you're the sole survivor,
and you're saucy. Let's do
and
this."
You're saucy." The prison warden Harold turns up. He says, "Look, Ripley, I know you've just been through the mill, but your presence here is going to disrupt my inmates." And she's like, "Don't worry, I'm not going to cause a scene or do anything like that." But now, Clemens, Clemens, so she wants Clemens to do an autopsy on Newt because she's convinced that Newt's going to have an alien in her belly. So obviously Clemens is like, "What are you on about? It's definitely, I mean, everything's fine. There's nothing weird." He does the autopsy, nothing's found, and then they throw the bodies of Newt and Hicks into the lava, into they basically just cremate the bodies, right?
Yeah. At the same time, a guy falls into he gets his face bit off, I think, but then he falls into a fan. So the bison's given birth at this point to. Yeah,
so the bison gets brought in and it's just like randomly died, right? It's just randomly died, and they bring it in.
They think it's randomly died, but they find like a dead face hugger next to it as well. Yeah.
And it's really weird because they see the dead face hugger and they kind of just go, "What's this weird thing?" Wee. as if you do that. So then obviously the alien bursts out of the bison thing, and it's like it walks on all fours. It's like a proper weird. Is that just what happens when the xenomorph comes out of a different, like a four-legged animal?
Yeah, it's also kind of like born like a foal. Weirdly enough, like it's already running, whereas like the aliens and the old ones was a Pez dispenser.
Yeah, it was just like a head and a tail, wasn't it?
Yeah, and they used to go up and just like slide across.
It was like a giant. It was like a giant sperm.
Yeah, but this one was like it looked like the one in Prometheus. Like it
looked like the one in Prometheus, but it looked like it had been animated by, like, what? It just didn't look right, did it? CGI is proper ropey in this film.
Yeah.
Like to the point where it just looks a different color to the background.
It looked like it had been animated by one of the engineers for Prometheus. Like,
I'll tell you what it looked like. You know, like sometimes on like Snapchat things, you can get like an app and you aim it at like the floor and it just makes something appear there.
Augmented reality sort of thing.
Yeah, it looks like that. I know it's 1992, but still, Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, there's a few bits. Maybe it's worse than special edition. I don't know. Maybe it's better. Who knows? But there are bits where it doesn't feel like it's touching. It's not on the floor. It's not quite there. Just slipping across everywhere.
Like if it was running towards me, I'd just be like, "That ain't real." I ain't scared of that. It ain't real. It's been painted on.
the bits when it's actually there's a guy in a suit. They did like this sort of stuff where it's just flapping around, and it's just flapping. It's like someone's got the rubber tail, and it's just flapping it around at people. And they had like whipping effects to make it sound like more aggressive. But it's just like you could just see a giant sort of rope, like tentacle dildo thing flapping around people's faces.
It was all a bit.
Yeah, it's not quite scary as.
There's loads of stuff of people in suits in like the first film and the second, but I think it's shot well enough that you don't spend too much time in close up in
Yeah, it's in Aliens they managed to sort of get it pretty much just right. Like apart from the Queen, I think you get a couple of ropey bits there. But,
the Queen looks a bit like a man on stilts, doesn't it? Sometimes.
Yeah, but like the bit where like what is it Hicks? One of them puts the head through the thing. I think it might be Hicks, and there's like loads of them crawling towards the.
Yeah.
They look generally like weird insect creature things.
And that's just people crawling in suits.
Yeah.
But I think what works there is it's the lighting. Like, you know what I mean? If that was just lit,
delightful.
If that was fluorescent light, that would probably look shit.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's like this sort of the red light from the flare in this horrible little tunnel, it looks. I mean, how many times has that moment been replicated in like any film, like horror film especially? Just like popping your head up into something, which you never do. I'd be like, no.
Like the loft. The loft is the only thing. Every time you go in the loft, there's always that bit where you're like, oh god.
Is there going to be a hobo up here who just immediately cuts my head off?
Hobo? Why hobo? Is that from a film?
Like a
Hobos in an attic? Is that like
Yeah, it's from the film I'm writing at the moment. Hobos in the attic. I can't spoil the final bit, but.
Okay, cool.
So the alien starts going about. It kills one guy in like a tunnel, and then I think it kills a couple of guys. But then Golic, who's played by Paul McGann, is basically terrified by it. Runs back covered in blood, and he's like, the dragon killed my homeboys. And obviously Ripley hears a bit of this stuff, and she's like, "Shit, it's happening again."
Yeah, so she goes on a bit of a detective mission. She starts out, she goes to the ship. I think she even gets Bishop at this point, but is it around here that all the gang try and rape her? Yeah,
so she goes to she finds out that Bishop was sort of just basically disposed of at the garbage dump, and he's obviously in half. And when she goes to find him, this gang do try and rape her, like 4 inmates try and rape her, but then the leader dude we just mentioned before, Dylan, basically interviews he interviews them while they're mid-rape. He beats them with a crowbar.
How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling angry and horny. Ripley like punches the last guy in the face. Again, that's like another good moment for her. Like she's not the damsel in distress at any point. Like, oh man, saving me. She kind of like the numbers are against her. Then Dylan just kind of like evens the score, and then she takes things into her own hand. But yeah, she goes to the infirmary, reactivates Bishop, basically just to get some information about what happened for the crash, and basically he confirms that a facehugger came with them to the escape pod, and obviously someone was infected.
His face is great. I mean, like the maybe the best special effect in the film is his sort of, because it's weird that they got an animatronic man to play an animatronic an android. And like his eyes like flopping out, sort of like his face is half off. It just works. It really works. I wonder how expensive it was to make that.
Milky.
Yeah.
I like that. Very milky. Yeah. Basically Ripley tells the dude, what's the dude? The prison warden about a previous encounter with the xenomorphs, and basically says everyone's got to work together to hunt down and kill this one thing. So they kind of like develop a plan to like lead it into this series of tunnels and basically trap it somewhere. And but the warden he doesn't quite believe her story. Then obviously he tells her that there's no weapons at all on the facility, which for obvious reasons, to stop everyone trying to escape. And basically the only hope they've got is a rescue ship which is being sent to pick up Ripley by the Weyland-Yutani Corporation. But I think we're told it's going to be like a little while yet. How long? Half hour? No.
2 weeks they say, don't he?
2 weeks! Bloody hell, imagine that!
Yeah.
Can you come pick me up now? Because I'm sick of being on this prison full of men who either want to rape or kill me. Alright, I'll be there in 2 weeks. Oh, for fuck's.
There's a weird bit where so they say to Ripley, look, just stay away from, don't come to near the prisoners. And she walks into them having lunch, and she just sits down right opposite them, next to the. Is this next to the guys that tried to rape her, or?
I'm not sure actually.
But she's like just sort of challenging their status quo anyway. But okay, so as the prison guard captain is like saying, there's no such thing as aliens. An alien takes them up into the rafters. Yeah.
So this is when they're in the infirmary, and that when the alien sort of ambushes them. Is that right?
Yeah. Okay. So Golic is on the bed. He's going bloody. He's talking about dragons. Charles Dance is.
He's seen the latest Game of Thrones. That's why. He's got bloody dragons. What's he on about? Is he mental?
Ripley's never seen Game of Thrones, has she? So she's like,
I've been asleep for 100 years, you bastard.
Yeah. So Charles Dance, he's about to give her a sedative, and she's gonna fall asleep. But as he does that, the xenomorph turns up, wraps Charles Dance in a sort of hug, kisses him through the face.
Yeah,
and then
it always does that, doesn't it?
Throws him away like a little plastic burrito onto the floor.
And then the alien comes face to face with Ripley. It's kind of like sniffs her, kind of like breathes heavily on her.
How good is that lip snarl? That kind of.
Yeah.
I wonder how they do that.
It's horrible, isn't it? Yeah. But then the xenomorph spares her. The xenomorph's like, I'm not going to kill you, actually, bitch. See you later.
It does say see you later, yeah.
Yeah, so then, when she goes to the cafeteria after that to sort of tell them what's happened, the warden sort of says, take her back to the infirmary. She's off her a nut, but then he gets dragged into the vents, to the vents and killed by the monster. Mm-hmm. And then Ripley's like, right, that's it. We can't let anyone else die. We're going to have to all get together and find a way of killing it. And they sort of work out a way to fill the ventilation system with like toxic waste, and they can hopefully ignite it, which will like flush it out. And then I guess they can just hit it on the head with a rounder's bat. I don't know. What have they got in this prison? Pretty much nothing. But it kind of goes a bit wrong. That there's like a premature explosion. Some of the inmates die when it's happened. Isn't that right?
Yeah. So and then they changed the plan. They said they're gonna trap it, and they managed to do it. They managed to sort of chase it into a. One of the guys. Oh yeah. So there's a younger guy, I think.
Yeah.
He sort of lowers it into the whatever it's called. This is where I start to get a bit annoyed with the film, because like it's up to this point it's building, it's still really interesting, and then Junior lowers it into the thing, and they close the door, and you just hear Junior dying, being torn to shreds, whatever, behind the door, and it's like that's almost like the climax of the film. Like it's almost reached a nice climax, and it's like. And now we're just gonna hang back for a bit, and we're going to.
And we're gonna wait for the alien to, But Golic lets it out, right?
Yeah, because he's like, I want to see it again.
I want to see it again. I like the look of it, especially the lip snarl and its long, dolphin-like head.
Yeah,
I want to see it again. Yeah.
So they have to sort of build back up that momentum that they've been carrying. They have to start from scratch again. Golic lets it out. It kills Golic, I think.
It kills Golic, yeah. I want to see it again. Well, here I am. Now see this!
And then the alien's like, I've got Golic breath now.
Awkward. Golic breath. Has anybody got a chewing gum? Because I've got Golic breath. And they go, classic you, xenomorph.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it's around this point that Ripley finds out that she's got a bloody alien embryo in her belly as well. Or chest.
Yeah.
Yes, basically she uses a sort of a thing that's quite ultrasoundy thing, which I guess is quite similar to it reminded me a bit of Prometheus, when obviously Noomi Rapace's character sort of goes and tries to get the embryo out of her.
Yeah.
A little bit like that. So basically
just have a Gaviscon or something. Just eat like a tum.
Eat a tum. She decides that it's growing. She finds out it's growing inside her, but then via some like messages, or some messages have been exchanged with Weyland-Yutani Corporation, she finds out that again they want to turn the alien into biological weapons. No, we can't terminate the alien. Every time.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, they don't learn, do they? They literally don't learn. I know it's supposed to be an evil umbrella-like corporation, but my God, they don't learn. Just go and get one yourself. Stop trying to make it survive.
Do you want to turn them into weapons? I mean, I don't know much about the world at that point, but I guess they're at war with planets or something. Then they must be. Like,
yeah, it'd be good to find out a bit more about this world, but
where they are actually using them as weapons. I wonder if there's been any sort of expanded, fiction.
Yeah,
that have looked into that.
I'm sure there is. Like there's comic books, there's novels, loads of stuff. So Ripley's like, the alien's not going to kill me because I've got the embryo in me. So if anything, we're best mates now. She begs Dylan to kill her, and he sort of says, "I'll only kill you if you help me kill the alien first." And she's like, "Well, what are you going to do?" She could just go and kill herself, but So they do another alien lure plan where they lure the alien into like a molding facility with like closing doors and molten lead and all this stuff. It's like a bait and chase sort of plan. And like the prisoners just getting picked off one by one here. It seems like it's not worth it. You might as well just go and lock yourself somewhere.
Yeah.
Everyone's just dying, and then Dylan obviously eventually ends up in the mold and gets one of the other guys to pour the molten lead onto him while he's with the alien.
Then there's a final standoff with Weyland-Yutani. They turn up. What's his name? What is his name?
His name's Weyland.
Peter Weyland? Jim Weyland?
Jimmy Weyland. His name is
Tommy Weyland.
I don't know.
Ronald.
What's his name in this? Ronald Weyland. I don't know. It doesn't say.
Anyway,
I'm looking at.
Maybe it's Yutani. Maybe it's Ronald Yutani.
Bishop's unnamed creator. Listed
weird.
in the credits. Listed in the credits as Bishop 2.
Okay. Well, Bishop 2 arrives with his gang. There's a guy with a camera from MTV. I don't know why he's there.
Tonight on Cribs.
So what happens? So the alien's dead, but then they're standing above the lava still. And Mr. Weyland-Yutani is like, I want that alien inside you. I'm going to take it home. We're going to raise it up like a Digimon. You want to use them like Digimons. Ronald Yutani gets a pipe to the back of the head. His ear's like hanging off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so basically he's saying to Ripley they want to undergo surgery, remove the queen embryo from her, and it'll be destroyed and we'll save your life. Basically just talking a load of shite. He gets piped, and then the dude who piped him is Morse, who's like one of the guards, isn't he? He gets sort of shot. He gets bulleted.
Bulleted in the body.
He gets bulleted all in the body, yeah.
And then she jumps, doesn't she? Into the lava.
Yeah. So basically she takes herself out into the middle of lava on this little weird little platform, and then obviously just falls backwards into the furnace. And then, depending on which version you watch, the alien queen does erupt from her chest. I think not in this version.
Yeah, that's weird. I liked it. I missed that bit.
But at the same time, what I liked in this film is she kind of dies by her own hand or by her own choice. She doesn't decide to die at the hands of the alien, so it doesn't get a chance to essentially end her life, which I quite liked. But I think they added it. Did they not? At some point, I think they went back.
Yeah. So, and then there's a final little weird coda with the last living prisoner being taken away, but he's happy about it for some reason. He's got out of prison. He's loving it, I guess, is the main thing.
He's got out of prison. And then basically it ends with the recording from the first film being played of Ripley.
Yeah. So,
and that is that.
That's that. Trivia. Are you ready?
No. Yes, I am.
Okay, cool. Number 1. How much money was spent on sets that were never used?
Oh, Jesus Christ, that's a good question. I'm going to say a lot.
Yeah, it's bizarre how much it seemed like they didn't know what they were doing when they were making this film. They just were making stuff on the fly.
5 million.
Wow, that's close though. 7 million had been spent on sets that were never used thanks to the ever-changing scripts before filming had even started.
Imagine that was your job, making those sets, and you were well into it.
$7 million.
This is amazing. Yeah. £7 million budget. I've made the best thing ever. we're not going to use it. We're just going to use the inside of warehouse. Yeah, you just be like, for fuck's sake.
You'd destroy it. You'd kick it over. You'd burn it down.
But then you'd burn it, and they go, actually, we changed our mind. We do want it. And you go, ah!
Yeah. Number 2. Which part of the film originally contained so much gore they even made crew members who had worked on it sick to their stomach?
Stomach. Contained so much gore. Was it like, killing the first guy gets killed, like in that thing when he runs into the fan?
No. So, much more of the autopsy scene was filmed and ended up in the final film. A rough cut of the scene originally contained so much gore that it made crew members sick to their stomach.
Don't be sick, it ain't real, mate.
But even like the fact that we didn't see stuff, I think was quite a good scene. I mean, because it's new, it was quite hard, difficult. If
you don't want to see
gory, I
Newt.
didn't want to see that. Yeah,
I'll get Newt ripped in half, do you?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Number 3. When the powers that be decided on a new ending to be shot, Elliot Goldenthal, the composer, had how many nights to come up with a new score?
7.
One night. He had a single night to come up with a new score for the scene.
Well, I feel like I got things on. I got things booked. I got stuff going on. When you come up with a whole score.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, he just did it
Game
on
of Thrones is on tonight.
Game of
not for you.
Guaranteed, he did it on just like one of those tiny little on a harpsichord and a harmonica.
He just used like the garage band loops, just dragged and dropped them in. Yeah. What is the number 4? Number 4. What is the refinery mostly made from? Is it A, cardboard, B, polystyrene, or 3, refineries?
Did you say 1, 2, and 3? Did you say A, B, and 3? I got confused. I reckon polystyrene, like sprayed.
Wrong. It was A or 1, cardboard.
Oh.
Yeah, it's cardboard. It's cool. Number 5, the last one of the film. What was the original title of the first film? Maybe I used this one in the original, the episode we did on the first one. I don't remember. But what was the original title of the film? Not Alien 3, Alien 1.
Yeah. Was it called? Was the original title
was it A?
Alien? What?
Was it A, Creature?
Oh.
Was it B? Hang on a second, I'm frazzled. Number 8, was it A, Creature? Was it 2, Star Beast? Or was it C, Xenomorphin Time?
Even though it's awful, like all of those are awful, but Star Beast?
It was Star Beast. That was the original title of the film.
We got Star Wars coming out, and now we got Star Beast.
Dan O'Bannon,
Star Beast trilogy.
Dan O'Bannon came to do a rewrite or one of the latest scripts, and he went through and he's like, look, they use the word alien a lot, and he just decided to go with that, and it works so much better. Maybe we just associate Alien with this. Maybe if it's called Star Beast, we'd be like thinking of really awesome snarling Star Beasts. Who knows? You're
like, God, I love the Star Beast trilogy.
Yeah.
I love the new Star Beast. Have you seen the Star Beast prequel? Have you seen Star Beast Covenant? It's great.
I mean, even Star Wars doesn't make much. I mean, it works in the context of the film, but if it was called something else, I don't think I'd be that bothered.
No. Well, you would if they just went, we're changing it from Star Wars to Star Beast.
Yeah. Okay, we need to rate the film.
Oh. So yeah, I didn't enjoy it as much as I mean, there's some elements of it which are all right, but it's quite messy, isn't it? By no fault of David Fincher's. It's quite messy. CGI is very, very, very ropey. Like some of the worst CGI I think I've seen.
Yeah.
You know, for a while.
Too much of it. Yeah.
I think there was a weird sort of era around about these early to mid 90s where the CGI was like thought of as being acceptable. It's almost like, look at that, it's magic, so glossy.
so glossy. Wet for some reason.
But yeah, I just find it a bit So I'll probably give it a D. That feels really bad because I love the Alien films, but this one just doesn't really do it for me. I think this one just falls into the trap of just being kind of boring and repetitive, and the fact that we've gone from one alien to loads of aliens, and now back to one alien, but in a bigger place. It just doesn't feel worthy of a sequel, does it? I mean, I do like some of the world building stuff they got, but again, I like to think of it more as a what if story rather than a follow up to Aliens. And for that reason, considering what it followed, which is like one of the best films of all time, I'm gonna have to give it a D plus.
Okay, I'm going for I pretty much agree wholeheartedly. I was a bit kind. I went with a C minus. I think maybe because Bold Ripley holds a more special place in my heart. I don't know.
I mean, Ripley is great in this film, as always. Like, she is great. It's only in Alien Resurrection that you start to take real liberties with her character.
Dunking basketballs.
I know she's a bloody clone, but they start to really take liberties with her character. And this, I feel like she's still true.
This show is brought to you by Hawk and Cleaver. Head over to hawkandcleaver.com and grab a free book. Become a patron over at patreon.com/hawkandcleaver. Thanks to Kovacs Kalman for our theme music. Thanks to Acast for hosting the show. Thanks to the listeners. If you enjoyed the show, please consider giving us a rating and review on iTunes. Remember to hit subscribe. Thanks to the guys in the Facebook group, Horror Hangout Board of Advisors. Thanks to Michaela Ben for being a real horror dude.
Thank you. Hanging in there. Cheers, mate.
Man. I'll catch you in a bit.
Bye.
Bye.